Have you ever had a moment when you quietly asked yourself, what now? Maybe you're 30, 40, 50, or 60. Maybe you're married. Maybe you're single. Maybe you're raising children. Maybe your children are grown, and now you're trying to figure out who you are in this new season of life. Maybe you have a good job, but something still feels missing. Or maybe you're working harder than ever and still wondering why you're not getting ahead the way you hoped you would. There are women who smile all day and cry when they finally get alone. Women who look like they have everything under control, but inside they're asking, is my life always going to be like this? And if you've ever thought that, I want to introduce you to a woman from the Bible who understood what it felt like to believe the future had closed its doors. Her name was Sarah. Her story is found in the Book of Tobit. Sarah had suffered so much that she reached a point where she believed there was no hope left for her. But what makes her story so powerful isn't only what happened to her. It's what happened after that moment of despair. And maybe today you need to hear this. Just because you cannot see a different future doesn't mean one doesn't exist. A woman who had suffered in silence. Sarah was the daughter of Raguel. The story tells us that she had been married 7 times, but none of those marriages was completed because, according to the story, a demon named Asmodeus killed her husbands before they could live together as husband and wife. Imagine the emotional weight of that. One painful experience can be difficult enough. But when something painful happens again and again, it can begin to change the way you imagine your future. After one failure, we think, that didn't work. After several, maybe I'm the problem. And after many, maybe things are never going to change. That is one of the dangers of pain. Pain doesn't only hurt us because of what happened. Sometimes it starts convincing us that what happened will always happen. And that can happen in so many areas of life. A relationship that ended. A business that didn't work. An opportunity we lost. A dream we had to postpone. A friendship that betrayed us. A season when we felt rejected. And then that voice inside starts saying, maybe it's too late. But Sarah teaches us something. Your past can explain your story without having the authority to decide your future. When other people's opinions hurt, Sarah's story becomes even more painful because she wasn't only suffering. She was also being judged. A servant spoke harshly to her about her situation. And this is something many women understand. Sometimes the deepest wounds don't come only from what happens. They come from what people say about what happens. Are you still single? You still don't have a house? You're still in that job? When are you going to do something different? Look at what she has accomplished. Your sister is doing better. Are you still trying? We live in a time when comparison is incredibly easy. You open your phone and see another woman traveling. Another buying her first home. Another celebrating a promotion. Another showing her marriage. Another displaying a seemingly perfect life. And without realizing it, you start comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. But Sarah can teach us something. You cannot allow other people's opinions to become the voice that defines your worth. People may know part of your story, but they don't know the whole story. Sarah's prayer. Then Sarah does something that changes the direction of the story. She prays. But this isn't a shallow prayer. She doesn't pretend everything is okay. Her heart is broken. She is overwhelmed. And she speaks to God from that place. I find that deeply human. Because sometimes we think that in order to approach God, we have to be strong. We have to have beautiful words. We have to understand what's happening. But Sarah shows us another possibility. You can come to God precisely when you don't have the answers. You can say, God, I'm tired. I don't understand. I'm disappointed. I don't know what to do. I need direction. Faith doesn't mean you never cry. Faith doesn't mean you never feel afraid. Faith doesn't mean you have all the answers. Sometimes faith simply means, I don't understand my life, but I'm still going to talk to God. And here is something beautiful. While Sarah is praying, somewhere else in the story, Tobit is also praying. 2 people. 2 different problems. 2 different places. But their stories are about to intersect. They don't know it yet. And maybe that is one of the most beautiful lessons. There may be things beginning to move before you are able to see them. Don't judge your future by your present. Sarah could only see what she was experiencing at that moment. We do the same thing. We have a tendency to look at our present circumstances and turn them into predictions about our future. I'm alone now, so I'll always be alone. I'm struggling financially now, so I'll never get ahead. I'm exhausted now, so I'll always be exhausted. This project failed, so I'll never succeed. But think about Sarah. If you had stopped her story at the moment of her despair, you might have assumed everything was over. But you wouldn't have known the next chapter. And neither do you know all of yours. So be careful with statements like, my life will never change. It's too late. I'm just unlucky. Good things happen to other people. Maybe today you are only seeing one part of the story. Sarah and the modern woman. Now let's bring Sarah's story into our world. Because you can live in a major city. You can have a career. You can have a family. You can have responsibilities. You can have opportunities. And still feel lost. There are women who are exhausted from being strong for everyone else. The woman who works all day and then comes home to solve everyone else's problems. The mother who thinks about everyone before herself. The wife who is always trying to keep the peace. The single woman who is tired of everyone having an opinion about her life. The woman who, after years of taking care of everyone else, finally asks, "What do I want?" And maybe that question is the beginning of your new season. You don't have to destroy your entire life. You don't have to quit everything tomorrow. You don't have to make 10 major decisions at once. Start with one question. What area of my life needs my attention first? Maybe it's your finances. Maybe it's your career. Maybe it's your confidence. Maybe it's your relationships. Maybe it's your organization. Maybe it's your spiritual life. Choose one. And start there. The future isn't built with wishes alone. One of the things we can learn from the story of Tobit is that there is movement. Tobias takes a journey. Raphael accompanies him. There are decisions. There are obstacles. There are actions. And eventually, his path intersects with Sarah's. That gives us a very practical lesson. Praying for a different future also means preparing for that future. If you want to improve your finances, don't only say, "Someday I want things to be better." Do something concrete. Review your expenses. Learn a skill. Take a class. Update your resume. Research a new career opportunity. Talk to someone who has experience in the field you're interested in. If you want healthier relationships, start working on your boundaries. Learn to say no. Pay attention to character. Stop ignoring warning signs that you use to justify. If you want to feel better about yourself, stop waiting for someone else to give you permission to value yourself. Write down your strengths. Remember what you have overcome. Take care of your body. Rest. Learn. Read. Pray. Surround yourself with people who encourage you. Faith and action can walk together. Sarah and love, don't choose from desperation. There is another lesson here that is especially important for women. Sarah didn't simply need to find a man. She needed a relationship that would not become another source of destruction. And that matters. Because when a woman has been alone for a long time, she may start thinking, anyone is better than nobody. No. Not everyone is better than being alone. Don't trade your peace for companionship. Don't confuse attention with love. Don't confuse beautiful words with character. Don't confuse promises with actions. And don't allow social pressure to make you accept a relationship that constantly makes you feel small. Your desire to love is valid. Your desire for companionship is valid. Your desire to build a family is valid. But you don't have to abandon your dignity to have it. The question isn't only, when will someone come into my life? Also ask, what kind of woman am I becoming while I wait? Because the future you desire may also require you to become prepared to live in it. 3 steps to build a different future. I want to leave you with 3 steps. 1. Stop calling yourself by your failure. You are not your divorce. You are not the job you lost. You are not the business that failed. You are not the relationship that ended. You are not the mistake you made. You are not the opportunity that never came. Those things may be part of your story. But they are not your entire identity. Sarah experienced painful things, but those experiences did not get the final word about who she was. Do the same. 2. Choose one goal for the next 90 days. Don't try to transform your entire life. Choose one goal. For example, in the next 90 days, I'm going to save a specific amount of money. I'm going to finish a course. I'm going to apply for 5 jobs every week. I'm going to organize my finances. I'm going to spend 15 minutes each day strengthening my spiritual life. I'm going to stop maintaining a relationship that constantly destroys my peace. Make it specific. Because a dream without action remains a wish. But a goal combined with small, consistent steps can become direction. 3. Build a support system. You don't have to do everything alone. Find mature women. Friends who will be honest with you. People who have already walked the road you want to walk. A mentor. A community. A church. A study group. A professional when you need specialized guidance. Asking for help doesn't make you weak. It means you understand that you were never meant to carry everything alone. Maybe you're in the chapter before the change. Maybe today you are in the same emotional place Sarah was. You don't know what will happen. You can't see the answer. You can't imagine how everything will come together. But hear this. You don't have to know the ending to take the next step. Sarah didn't know the ending of her story when she prayed. Neither do you. And that's okay. Maybe this year won't be the year when you receive every answer. Maybe it will be the year when you prepare. The year when you learn. The year when you heal. The year when you establish boundaries. The year when you become wiser with your money. The year when you rebuild your confidence. The year when you believe again. Sometimes, before our circumstances change, the way we walk through those circumstances changes. So I want to ask you something. What part of your life are you ready to rebuild? I want you to write one word in the comments. New. And if you want to go a little deeper, finish this sentence. My next step is. It could be. My next step is saving. My next step is learning. My next step is forgiving. My next step is setting boundaries. My next step is looking for a new opportunity. My next step is trusting God again. You don't have to have everything figured out. You only need to identify your next step. And share this video with a woman who needs to hear it. A friend. A sister. A mother. A coworker. Because maybe she is going through a season that is making her believe her story is over. And you can remind her? There are still chapters she hasn't read. Sarah's story began with tears. But the tears were not the ending. And perhaps the tears you are shedding today are not the ending of your story either. So don't give up in the middle of the chapter. Your story is still being written. I'll see you in the next video.